What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we got a 2015 Jeep Wrangler, or if you got a Jeep Wrangler Sahara V6, I am about to do an oil pressure sensor on this with the gasket, a whole bunch of other stuff. So you guys can follow along. We got a Tesla over here charging. So where is this pressure sensor under the hood here? First of all, we gotta lift this up. I'm gonna take this onto my bay over there. This guy comes right off just like that. We can let this sit right there. So we gotta remove all this. The whole intake's got to come off. We're going to take off the duct pipe. We're going to take off all these vacuum lines. And there's a whole bunch of 10 millimeters over here. Everything coming off. And then we're going to go down below. One thing at a time. And let's get this job going. It's not going to be so easy, but we'll get it done. All right, guys. While you're at it, you want to change your intake gasket and spark plugs. Bada bing, bada boom. Because some of the spark plugs sit under below this. And once you have it open, you might as well just do it. I will show you the parts as we go along. Okay, to begin, let's talk parts. So we got 6 spark plugs, original stuff. You only want to put original stuff in here if you need the part numbers. It's all there. 4 in here, 2 in here. We got the oil pressure sensor here. Part number 500-52586. This is what this baby look like, small little sensor. You got like a little, some type of compound that prevent leak, so you don't have to put any Teflon tape. We got upper and lower gaskets. I don't know which one's upper and lower, so this might be upper. But there's part number here, so you do want to get all these. Okay, well, the shape will tell you once you're working on it. So there's the part number for this guy. Okay, and you guys can see that it's 00500469445-006. Part number down here, if this is the part number. 0518-4562 AC-006, and they're square looking 6 gaskets, and then these are like a little oval. And let's take a look at the part number on this. Okay, right here, 00500469446-006, 0518-4331 AC-006. So part numbers are kind of similar, but there you have it. Only buy original stuff. So we're gonna put this to the side. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start off by take some compressed air. If you don't have it, just make sure nothing drops inside the intake. So I like to blow air all around it. Pay attention when you're doing this job, because sometimes a mechanic probably dropped a tool down below, small socket. You never know what he dropped, a bolt. So if you hear any noises coming out, so pay attention to it very carefully. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start doing this job immediately. We're gonna start by taking off this duct pipe and keep everything in order and let this job begin. It's gonna be a long video today. So if you guys are doing this job at home, you can follow along. So pretty much we're gonna remove this little guy. We're gonna remove any bolts you're working with today. Make sure you don't put it anywhere there, because you don't want nothing dropping in there. So we're gonna simply start. There's a sensor down here. It's like a clip. You're gonna have to remove that little guy. So I'll show you that once I have it, but we need to loosen this and this. What you're gonna need here is flathead screwdriver. Loosen this guy right here, and there's one on this side here. So this is gonna be a full tutorial here. You guys can watch this from the beginning to the end. And let's pull this duct pipe off, and there's a sensor here, so be careful you don't yank it. And I'm gonna show you guys that little guy. So that little guy is sitting right down here. You see this? So you have to squeeze this tab. What I usually do is go from the back end, and I like to push on the tab from the back end, and that will get that out of there. So it's not coming out. There you go. It will come off. So that's what this guy look like. Just so you gotta squeeze on this clip a little bit, nicely and evenly. So I like to take these bolts, just keep everything in order as it is, and pretty much now start taking all the pipes off, such as these. Sometimes these won't come out. You don't want to like crack the intake either. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get up on the top of this guy and work a little bit differently. So I like to break the grip loose on these pipes, and this thing is super duper gripped on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this pipe off, and I'm gonna go get a couple more tools. I got one sitting right here. So needle nose pliers, all you do is grip a little bit and twist and turn. Once it loses its grip, you don't want to squeeze on it either. It will just come right off. And same thing with this one. So this one might be a little bit tough because it is a bigger pipe, but I will get it off eventually. It will come off. Even if you could get the back end of it off, it's fine. So I'm gonna have to work. This thing is gonna give me a little bit hard time, but I will get it off just by doing all that magical work there. So we're not disconnecting any battery, okay? Because we're not working with anything like alternator or starter. So we got that off. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna see this there's like a red tab here on this little guy, and then you can squeeze on this, and the starter body connector. It's important you remove all the connections, okay? Because if you don't remove them, you will break the wiring. So even this is gonna be a little bit tough. Okay, I squeeze the connector from the back end, and there's a whole bunch of clips everywhere. So go along, guys. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come back to this side a little bit, and we're gonna come to this side now. So we're on the driver's side. So these little clips right here, they gotta come off, okay? Otherwise your harness is gonna be stuck. Your intake, upper intake, gotta be clear off everything, okay? So let's get this off. Remember, this clip is over here. If you want to leave this bracket behind, you can, but if you want to remove this clip here, this little mounting thing here, so let's disconnect this map sensor, and this harness is clipped on here one more time. So I don't know how far that harness is gonna go. So there's 10 millimeters on this, and there's like another 10 down here. So there's brackets, okay? You have to deal with these brackets, all these brackets, okay? There's 10 millimeters here. Your camera's not gonna go there for me to record that. So as you can see right back there, there's 10 millimeters. And get them all off, these two right here, and loosen the bracket from the bottom. And once you loosen it, that will be all. So let me do that, and then we'll come back. So I did take off this vacuum line from right over here. Let me get my light. I'm sorry about that. So I did take off this vacuum line right here. Very important, this vacuum line goes straight to the booster. So make sure you put this back. So what I'm doing here is I took off the 10 millimeters from right here. 1, 2, and then you got 2 back here. And remember, these studs that are in there, I'm gonna remove the studs. On this side, I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna take off the two bolts here to remove this bracket out of the way. But on this side, I'm gonna remove the studs, because the studs are gonna bother me and I don't wanna go through the hassle. If you wanna go through the little bit of hassle, all you gotta go is down a little bit below and follow this bracket and loosen up the 2 bolts. They're probably a 13 millimeter, and this bracket should fall this way, but I'm gonna completely remove these. And remember, like I said, put these things away. You don't want them anywhere near that intake. Now, see these 2 right here? I'm gonna take off this one and this one. Once I have that off, that bracket should just get out of our way completely. I'm gonna be using this 3/8 drive ratchet here. You're not gonna see it completely, but I'm gonna have this bolt out of here and the other bolt. The starter body can just stay there and it shouldn't bother us at all. And once these 2 are loose, I'm using this long, about a foot long extension here with a swivel in the neck. So I'm gonna take this guy off. And you do have to put all this back together. Okay, I'm gonna just throw this on the floor. And there goes nothing. There you go, guys. This bracket should be out of our way, just like that. We could put this here and put the 10 millimeter that I threw here and 10 millimeter here right next to it. So only thing that's gonna bother is that bracket, but we're gonna take off the studs. So we got ourselves an inward torque socket. The size is E6. Okay, with the 1/4 inch drive ratchet. And you're gonna just turn counterclockwise both of these and they will come off. They just studs going to your intake. If they're stiff and they don't want to come out, leave them alone. Then you gotta follow the other route. And the other route is going down below, because sometimes the inside just strips out. But they're into plastic, they should come off. Shouldn't be no issue. I never had issues with these. So once I have these off, we will move on more further, and hopefully there's nothing in the back. So let me get these off, and then we'll just continue. Okay, so we got an issue. We can't take these off studs. I remember now why. Because they got like a washer head neck on the opposite side. So we do got to go down below. I do got to loosen up both of the bolts on the bottom, and which shouldn't be that difficult. Let's get to that. Okay, so got me a 13mm deep socket. Right from over here, we're gonna fish out that 13mm there. It shouldn't be that difficult. Okay. All right, I got it. I got it right on the neck. And okay, we turned one thread. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just show you guys what I'm doing here. Same thing on the other one back there, but you're gonna have to probably put in some extensions and a little combination of setting up tools. From right here, camera can't see nothing from here. Okay. And one-handed job again, guys. Okay, there you go. I'm gonna loosen the heck out of this, and then once the bracket is loose, I'm gonna show you guys that it should fall down a little bit. Okay, better yet, I got the front bolt loose, but the back one, what I did was I used my fork here. I'll move that clip out that's holding this oxygen sensor and wiring and everything, and I think this 13mm should work very well there. Yep, there you go, perfect. So use the 13mm gear wrench. That works really good there. So I'm gonna have to put the camera away and try to work this guy out with both hands. There you go. This and the socket for the first one. Remember, got my tools up there. Once we got the intake off, no more tools up there. So I got both bolts loose. As you can see, the bracket should now get out of our way. Okay, so we're gonna have to just assist it a little bit for us to work. So it's time for us to get around. And what I like to do is I like to look all around. There's nothing else connected here. So just these pipings here. And we will get all these out of the way. Okay, there you have it. And if there's anything else bothering us, we're gonna have to take a look at it while we're working on it. But it's time for us to go further and get this intake out of here. So to get this intake out, we got bolts here, number 8mm, 8mm, 8mm. I'm not sure if there's anything behind that. I don't think there should be anything behind that. We also got 8mm here. We got a few more 8mm, 8mm. There's got to be one more back there. Yep, I can see it all the way back there. I'm not sure if that's for the lower or upper. Yeah, that is for the upper. But we will move some of these and see how it goes. And then we're just gonna have to move one step at a time. And these clips here for the harness here gotta come off too. And let me get this guy off. When it's ready to come off, you guys will see everything just magically pops. So here we are. As you can see, I'm using power tools. Okay, I want to grab the wrong socket. I need an 8mm, not a 9mm. So why did I go grab an 8 and 9mm today? Because my idiot dumbass put it on the wrong slot in the toolbox. So as I was saying, no power tools when putting this baby back together. Okay, there you go. There you go. Let's see. What am I doing here? Yep. So are these gonna come out? Nope, they're just gonna stand up like that. Okay, you couldn't get them off, but it's gonna be hard for you to do so. And just let them sit like that. So two in the back, I'm not gonna be able to show you because they're gonna be kind of tricky. I saw the intake move already. Maybe those back bolts are not part of it. There you go. I saw this intake move already. So I'm gonna lift this one up here. Yep, there is a bolt back there, I think so. I'll let you go know at the final result. But it's loose. Let me get everything out of the way. All of my tools gotta get out of the way. And my tools are fine to stay here. You just can't be over there because you don't want nothing falling, nothing in your pockets either. So you don't want nothing dropping in there. So let me get this guy off and then we'll talk more. So I pulled this off from back there. I got 2 clips. They look like this. I used the fork tool, this little guy right here, to remove this, and it just sticks out. And now we can see that last bolt there clearly. And this harness just goes up and it comes right off. So it is kind of tough. And make sure you clip the harness back when you're done. So I'm gonna get that last bolt out and the intake should be ready to come out. So we got a bracket down here, 10 millimeter here. There's 2 10 millimeters on this line, and then you could just fold this up a little bit and your intake should come out not so complicated. And you might have to push this bracket off a little bit. So one of my bolts has to be falling back in. Let's see which one. Okay, none of them. So what is holding me down? Okay, this bracket has like a little dampener to it. So we're gonna have to lift that bracket off. Okay. To get this bracket off, you got to go all the way down there. You're probably gonna have to remove this battery tray. There's 2 10 millimeters back here. Shouldn't be that difficult. You should be able to get it, but I might go back there and get it out. Let me see if I could get it without it. I already got it. It's just a little clip here that's bothering us, unless there's another, I think there's another 10 millimeter under the sticker here. Yep, there's got to be another 10 millimeter. That freaking little guy hidden under this little guy. So I'm gonna bring my electric drill back. Thing fooled me. Okay, here it comes. Number 10 here. I didn't know that was there. I did not know that was there. So we got that out of the way. This intake should simply just come out if there's anything back there holding us. But there it is. It's all in front of you guys. Now we got bigger problem because we got plugs in here. We're gonna take those off. Not a bigger problem, but remember this intake gotta come out too, okay? So we got gaskets here, and there's gaskets down below. So this is a square looking gaskets we was talking about. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna disconnect this fuel rail from right here. We're gonna have a lot of gas here, and then after that it's just a whole bunch of bolts. 1 2 3 4, and if there's anything else, this whole injectors and rails should just come with it. So it's 2 2 4 6, and there might be one at the edge. Okay, one here, one back there. Okay, and then the whole intake should come out, and that's it. I want these pipes out of my way. Okay, these are hard pipes, so they're kind of. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take it off from back there, because I definitely don't want none of these pipes bothering me. Okay, and be careful with them. They will crack, and they will crack. So this pipe is gonna bother me a lot. Everything else is okay, and then that'll be good to go. So let me get everything out of the way. And okay, these are not the bolts we talking about. That's for the rail. We're talking about the bolts here. 1 2 3, and there's one at the end there. So it's 4 and 4 bolts. So let me get everything out of the way. To disconnect this fuel rail, all you gotta do is squeeze on this and get this guy out of there. That blue clip's gotta come off first, and that is a retainer. And once I have this, we'll just go further. So this little guy, don't lose this, okay? Very important. I could put that there. That's just plastic, and I hate fuel, but nothing we could do about it. Okay, this is kind of flexible line. I still don't want to take a chance with me just trying to put everything to the side. So let me get everything off, and I'm gonna disconnect the coils and everything, and the whole harness should get out of my way. All right, so once it's prepped up, we'll remove everything. Okay guys, I'm ready to show you guys. The intake is ready to come out. I'm gonna fix the camera up a bit. took off all the bolts, removed the injectors. I did not remove the fuel line rail. And these little clips, I forked them out. These little gray looking clips. So my whole harness is out of the way. The connectors for the injectors, you gotta pull up the tab first, then squeeze it. And what I did was I used the hook back there I used the pick pretty much to grab the connector from like back of it, like where this thing would be sitting right here. Grabbed it, pulled it, and it kind of wiggled it, and they came off, all three. Gonna be a little bit troublesome to get them in, but this baby is ready to come out. Okay, so this bolt is still in there a little bit, so let me remove this a little bit more. 8mm, it's 4 bolts all around. 1, 2, 3, 4. They counted 4. And any of this harness is connected to it, you gotta remove the clips. It's usually clips, so I'm sure there's something back here that's holding these together. So I'm gonna look into that, and then we'll come back and start this again. Okay guys, it's ready to come out. One thing I want to say is they put too much unnecessary stuff back there, like a clips, like these little gray clips here. Come on, it's easy when this thing is down on the floor at the factory, but remember, it's gonna break down one day, and all this is gonna have to come out one day eventually. So here it is. It's do or die here. So be careful with your fuel line. There you go, that's what I wanted. So using these little covers like this, very important. Very important. So we're gonna let this thing sit right there. And now we got our switch all the way back there. We're gonna have to get to that little guy. But prior to that, let's clean this off, all this nasty stuff, before we get that far. And we don't want nothing going inside the block. So remember, your tools out of the way, everything out of the way. So this looks pretty good. We're gonna change the gaskets together. But let me show you guys where we stand right now. Okay. I do want to block off all the bores of all the cylinders, and then we'll come back and I will show you the sensor back there. Go in there and take a look at this guy. It's not gonna be fun from here on. So let's disconnect this little guy right here. So we gotta pull on this red tab, squeeze, and then pull this off, okay? Inspect your wiring. A lot of times the wiring goes bad on these. Sometimes a mice or something can get in there. And disconnect this little guy. And the wiring looks really good on our sensor here. So what we want to do here is we got a temperature sensor and an oil pressure sensor. So we're going to see if there's a socket that fits there, and then I will show you that socket. But let's get these connectors out of the way. So you're going to have a little bit of oil spill, that's fine. And let's see how this baby goes. There we have it. That's the bottom sensor we're looking at. So let's match up a socket. Okay, we got a socket. There's a part number here, KD3926. I'm sorry, KD3923. This is 1/16 of an inch. The 3x8 drive socket. You can also put it like a 22 wrench in the back. I'm not sure, 22 or 24, but this fits on it perfectly. And what we're gonna do is, and hopefully my ratchet is turned to the correct direction, counterclockwise. And you want to go easy on it because it goes into the plastic housing. And there you have it. This baby is coming out. Okay, it's loose. I think it's loose enough for me to do it by hand. Let's see. There you go. The socket kind of broke my connector here. So go easy on the new one. And you're gonna have, remember, you're gonna have oil spill here a little bit. And here comes nothing. The little bit of oil spill is fine. There's oil down there. That's the reason why there's oil down there, because those gaskets down there. So there should be, the whole oil cooler system right there should be changed. But here it is. All pressure sensor on this Jeep. And remember, there's a pressure sensor and there's 3 wires, so there's a circuit to it that tests this. So that's why it would give you a code, even though you would have a pressure reading it would not have dropped the pressure. Anyways, common issue on these Dodge, Chryslers, and all of these vehicles. So now we're gonna get this baby in there. Make sure you catch all the threads by hand, and then all you need to do is snug it. There's no testing to see if this baby leaks or not. There's no testing, no nothing, because look, you see it where it's at. It's all in your eyes. You guys can see the location of it. So it's ready for me to reverse procedure this baby. Come on, little guy. Okay, I didn't match this onto this sensor. That's how I found the tool originally. So remember, don't gotta be crazy tight, just enough where you feel it's snugged enough. Remember, look where I'm grabbing the ratchet from, because it's nothing crazy and it has like a Teflon glue on it. And I think I'm gonna leave it like right here is fine. Shouldn't be no issue here. There's no torque in this baby because that thing has a Teflon and you will never have the correct torque. I don't believe in torque stuff. I do believe in torque stuff, but not on to certain points. So this baby's in. Shouldn't be loose or anything like that. Okay, there you go. Perfect. Tired. So let's connect this baby. And should click, okay? Okay, I felt the snap, okay? Camera might not heard it, but I felt it. Try to see wiggle it. Shouldn't come out. And same thing here. Click. That one was a pretty good click. There we have it. What I'm gonna do here is I am gonna clean the intake. I am gonna replace the gaskets here that you see here. I'm gonna take all the new gaskets and I'm gonna put new gaskets. You're not gonna see that part because I gotta clean and everything, put that in. I'll show you the gaskets. And then the top one, I will do it together with the camera there, because this one I gotta get them on there and get it in there. And once the intake is in there, I'm gonna tighten all the bolts and everything. And we will come back to that. But there we have it so far. Put my camera to charge and everything. Okay, we're back. Got the intake on, got the gaskets in, injectors are in. By the way, I forgot to mention, I did take off a little vacuum line back here. It's a thick pipe back here. That's the vacuum line that's coming over here. So that goes from back of the intake. Anyways, all the connections are in. Everything is nice and tight. Make sure you catch the threads first and then try to use a wrench on them. Torque specs, I do not have any. So do not ask me. So this is the best time for us to change the plugs. So I removed the 3 coils, number 10 millimeter. We haven't put the connections in yet, the connectors. We still need to like align all these lines. So let's do that right now. These little retainers here. Okay. Everything gotta sit where it's supposed to be at, because the top intake cannot squeeze any of this stuff. So make sure your fuel line, oh, we forgot one thing, okay? Where did it go? The little clip onto the fuel line. I have it here somewhere. I'll put that baby somewhere here. Okay, I'll get to that. But anyways, we're gonna keep it going. And what we're gonna do here is we are gonna use a magnet to take out the plug. So this thing has about 60,000 miles on it, and plugs don't look so bad. But here's some new plugs I showed you guys. So make sure you take one out, make sure you check the gapping, and also make sure you check the depth of the plug. I'm about to show you that just in a moment. Let me get this baby in there. So these 3 plugs are hard to do. If you have a misfire, you might want to take off the intake. You have to take off the intake. So what I meant to say was check the plug, the gapping, and the length. Okay, if it's too short, too deep, you're gonna have trouble. So that's in there. We're gonna leave that alone. Let's move on to the next one. And here comes nothing. Okay, that should be loose. There you go. Plug number 2 is out. Make sure the gapping is good. If the gap is closed, you're gonna have a misfire. So this is a 5x8 socket here. You know, using a 2.5 inch extension in back, 3/8 drive. So always catch your threads first. There you go. You can always work on the other plugs later on, and because they're much easier to work on. Okay, here comes the last one here. So the intake sits on top, so there's no way for us to get these guys out of here. Okay, there you go. Magnet, please, come handy. And there's our last plug. New plug goes in. There you go. Where's our socket? So I gotta finish out a few things. Look for the clip back there, Phil. I'm gonna find that and put that on, and then I'm gonna come back and start changing the gaskets. So it's time for me to lock these 3 plugs in. Make sure they're nice and tight. Torque spec usually 13 to 16 foot-pounds. You could check that, find that, Google that. It's all up to you. I go by hand. That should be fair enough there. Let's move on to this one. That should be fair enough. There you go. Perfect. So, ignition coils, you don't have to keep them in order. A lot of people would ask me that. Okay, you see 122 over here? My tool just fell down there. Okay, that's no problem. If you have a misfire, then you do need to pinpoint that one coil that's bad. So I'm gonna get the ton number on this, number 10 millimeter, and I'm gonna put the connector on, and we will lock up all the coils. Okay, here comes another one. Let's put the connector on. It should click. There you go. And push the coil in so it grabs the plug. And I'm gonna tighten the bolts, and then I'm gonna come back and we'll continue with the gaskets, and then we'll put the intake on. There you go. So I'm gonna lock all this up, and then we'll continue with, ouch, something just hit me. Anyways, we'll be back. Okay guys, we're ready to, so this pipe I was talking about, that goes behind this valve cover, like right here on the back end. I don't know if I said something about the intake. It does not connect to the intake, okay? So we're gonna remove this. No tools gotta be here at this point, except my pick, okay? So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna remove these gaskets, okay? Should simply they come off. You don't need to clean or nothing, because there's nothing there to clean, okay? It's a little bit oily. Oil is good for these gaskets. Okay, don't put any kind of sealant, nothing like that. You don't need it. As long as your gaskets sit good. And over time, these gaskets will like get crushed, and you will have a vacuum leak. It can cause misfire. Okay, this one just completely, I noticed it's cracked. Okay, it's cracked like that. You see that? I don't know if my tool did that, but my tool couldn't just do it 2 different spots, only one spot. So there you go. That thing just fell all the way down to the ground. And I'm gonna just toss these babies out of here. And here's our new package. So we're gonna have 6 upper intake gaskets. Okay, the ones in the bottom that I didn't catch, because they sit on the bottom of the gasket, and then it's gotta be flipped over, so you gotta be precise on that. So these, they're all the same. Just get them into the slot, push down on them. Let's start from the back end, right here. Okay, and all I got left is to change the other 3 plugs, which I can do, and this intake does not bother me to do that. Okay, there you go. We got 6 gaskets here, nice and flush. Okay, there you go. time for the intake to come on. And we're gonna just slip it in there. We're gonna push this back. All these things are gonna bother you. So make sure everything is in there. Fuel line is connected, the clip is on. Everything where it belongs, supposed to be belonging. Everything is nice and tight. To both connectors on, to both of the sensors. The new one we replaced. So, moment of truth. Here it comes back. The intake. I'm gonna just wipe it down a little bit from the bottom. Even though you guys don't see it, just wipe the bottom down. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna slightly just get it to the area we want it at. I'm gonna have to come up a little bit. Let's just get out of the danger zone. Danger zone meaning once the intake has found a spot, this pipe here is gonna cause a lot of trouble. Oh, one more thing I want to mention to you guys. There you go. This baby is back in the spot. Perfect. When I was doing the lower intake, the injectors, the connectors on this side bothered the intake from going in. So make sure you line those, okay? So that could be one thing that you probably guys didn't see it, but it did give me a hassle. So I'm gonna bring my extension. Okay, no other tools are coming here. So what I want to do is, oh, I thought that would stay in place. So I'm gonna hold the intake straight. What I want to do is I want to catch the threads in all 6. What do we have? 3, 6, 7 bolts. Is there 7 bolts? Yep, there's one back there. I believe so. I forgot. I already forgot. You see how easy we forget? So that one's in. This one's in. Ah, come on. You know, if I lock up the back too, just enough to snug it, the intake will not move no more. There we have it. Okay, so that one bolt is holding it for us. What I'm gonna do here is, remember, we took out a brake line, brake vacuum booster line on this side. Very important and very critical to get that in, or your brakes will fail, your truck will not stop. Okay, there you go. That's the vacuum line that was sitting over here. That's this little guy right here. Okay, there's no clamps or nothing on it. Didn't find that to be that important. And let me see if my camera can see it. Come over here. Come over here, down here. Right here. This is the vacuum line that goes right here. I'm gonna plug that in right now. I don't want nothing to do with that pipe being loose. Okay, because I've been there, done that. So what I'm gonna do here is, guys, I'm gonna lock everything up, and then we're gonna come back and take a look. And one thing I don't like to do is I don't like to reset the light. I like to let the system diagnose itself. Sometimes the light goes away. That tells you it's not coming back on. You don't need to go test drive, none of that. Anyways, let me finish this out and then we'll come back. Okay, got the intake nice and tight. We're gonna move on to plug in all the vacuum lines. Why is this so rough? Okay, I see why it's so rough. This gotta go here, and this little guy gotta go here. They made these vacuum lines so tough that, okay, this has gotta go underneath. I believe this is supposed to be underneath this. Yeah, I think that's how originally it was. I moved it around so it can sit better, line better. There you go. So this baby goes in here. Okay, I got a couple of bolts to put in here, so you know what? Let me put the bolt and then we'll come back and finish everything out. Okay, I had to put some bolts there for the brackets back there, but we all in now. Let's put these vacuum lines in. It's a tough, stupid little tough vacuum lines. Okay. How is it that this is so tough to get in there? Okay, I see why. There you go. Just got to be lined and then it's good to go because it just angles just perfectly there. Okay, so this got to go in. These clip in there. And then we got this one just sitting here. This is evap port line. I'm not sure why it's so short now. Hopefully it didn't get pinched. Hopefully it didn't get pinched. Shouldn't be pinched. Yeah, it's not pinched. Yeah, it's not pinched. Okay, so this can just sit here I know it's supposed to come further, but there you go. Perfect. Just gotta pull it a little bit. Anyways, there you go. Don't crack any of these lines. You're gonna have vacuum leak. Okay, so these are in, 210mm, 210mm are in. Intake is tight, bottom intake is tight, 3 injectors are in, 3 injectors are in, 3 coils are in, 3 plugs are in. We're doing pretty good here. Brake booster line, very critical. I'm gonna tighten that up. These last, okay, after I test drive the car and everything, because you never know. And same thing with the bracket down here, but we can put the connectors in. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna finish everything out, and then this connector goes onto the throttle body here. Make sure it clicks. Like you see that came out? That was not a click. There you go, that's a click now. So everything got a click. Sometimes you can feel the click, you can hear the click, you can know the click. Okay, this baby is all done. I'm gonna move on to the plugs, and that will be a separate video with the plugs. Okay, we'll call it a tune-up, how to do a tune-up on this guy. So I showed you how to take off the intake, got the plugs out of there, and all I need to do is get the other plugs in and out. I'll continue out with a separate video. So we're pretty much done. This has got to go. I'm gonna have to take it all back out because this goes in the bottom, or I'll try to fish it in there. I'm an idiot. You see this goes in the bottom. I'm out. You know what? Let me test drive it, and then I'll put that back in. And don't forget, okay, you see how I forgot? I gotta go back 40 minutes into the video now. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. I gotta put that back in. I gotta get this back in there somehow, some way. It's not gonna go through here. I'm gonna have to take this off. Thank you for forgetting, Mr. RB, the mechanic. Always a checklist, okay? Checklist, and look and see what you don't forget and what you did forget. Anyways, thank you for watching my video. Put the intake pipe on and put the sensor in. Very important vacuum line over here, and you got the bolts loose there. Get everything in there. So I'll see you guys on the next video. So I'm pretty much done here. Gotta do 3 plugs and check all your vacuum lines. This guy, we got the vacuum in the back. We got that in there. We got the intake duct pipe here. We got the connector. We got the connector. Connectors are in. This is a very important brake booster line here. And 10mm, this bracket's in right here. We got that bracket in there. We got the bolts in there in the bottom. 13mm are tight. Everything is tight. So should be good to go. We didn't do nothing wrong here. So with my crusty little gloves, no oil today. Let's crank the vehicle and let's see what it does. Should be no issue, no loud noises, no nothing. It might start up kind of stupid a little bit since we took off the intake. And let's see how the light feels about this. Sim Park. Started up beautiful. Did have a little bit of shake, it went away. The light's still on. I guess we're gonna have to reset that light. And then we'll drive around, we'll come back, drive around, let us sit, drive around, let us sit. And there you go. No more misfire. I felt the misfire in a bit. I told you it's gonna start off a little funny. And hopefully the light goes away with my second start because I'm not resetting yet. I'm gonna start one more time. Maybe it will pick up. So it did not go away on its own. And I'm gonna just reset it, okay? So there we have it, guys. Thank you for really watching this video, but continue watching my tune-up video, which I'm gonna do next.